I told my mom, please don't let anyone into my room. My collection is priceless to me. But the next thing I know, this random woman was in my closet, handing my dolls to her granddaughter like they were Happy Meal toys. That was the moment I knew. I needed to teach her a lesson she'd never forget. If you've ever had someone treat your space, your memories, or your boundaries like they don't matter, hit that like button right now. Because this is one of the most satisfying stories of quiet, calculated revenge you'll hear today. I moved out of my parents' house last year. Not far, just into a small condo of my own. But my childhood bedroom? Still exactly the same. Like a time capsule. My clothes. My old posters. My favorite books. And most importantly, my doll collection. Well, I know how that might sound. But these weren't just dolls. They were collector edition Barbies. Each one pristine, still in its box. Kept safely on a high shelf. My dad used to work in the US while we lived in Canada. We didn't get to see him often. But whenever he visited, he brought me a doll. It became our tradition. His way of showing love when words didn't always come easily. Those dolls? They're all I really have left of that connection. Every weekend I visit my mom. Help out around the house. And every time I make it clear. Please. Don't let anyone go in my room. Not because I'm overprotective. But because I've had bad experiences. Kids taking things. Breaking things. And honestly, it's my space. That weekend felt off. My mom had invited over a few of her friends. One of them, Jane, I didn't know. Jane brought her 5-year-old granddaughter who was, let's just say, full of energy. I was working downstairs when I heard it. Footsteps. Voices. Then Jane's voice. And then, the sentence that made my heart sink. Look at those dolls, sweetheart. I shot up out of my seat. I ran upstairs. And there they were. In my room. The door wide open. Jane, inside my closet reaching for my dolls. The little girl bouncing around pointing at everything. And Jane, holding one of my still-boxed collector Barbies, waving it around like a toy from the dollar store. She wants to play with this princess doll. I stepped forward trying to stay calm. No, please put that back. That's not a toy. That's a collectible. He gave me a look. One of those annoyed, dismissive stares. It's just a doll, she snapped and reluctantly handed it back. The child burst into tears, screaming about how she wanted the princess doll. I took a deep breath, went through my old things, found a few well-loved dolls I used to play with and brought them downstairs. Here, sweetie. These are for playing. She looked at them, then at me. No. I want the pretty princess one. Of course. That night I vented to my mom. And she just sighed. I told her not to go upstairs. But you know how these aunties are. She wasn't wrong. In our South Asian culture, especially with older women, there's this weird entitlement. They think everything in the house is theirs to touch, rearrange, comment on, even criticize. Boundaries don't exist. Collectibles, they don't get it. But I was done. Done letting people disrespect my space. Done letting some random auntie treat my memories like junk. So the next morning I said, we're putting a lock on my bedroom door. Today. My mom didn't argue. We went out, picked up a good solid bolt lock. I installed it myself. Pick, turn, done. And for the first time, I felt like that little girl who used to wait for her dad's visits was finally safe again. A few days later, Jane came back. Granddaughter in tow. She walked in like she owned the place, glancing toward the stairs, probably already planning her next invasion. But my mom met her at the door and smiled. Oh, Jane, just so you know, the bedroom door's locked now. No one goes in anymore. Jane's face? Priceless. She fake laughed. Oh, I wasn't going to do anything. She just loved the dolls last time. And my mom cut her off. And they're not for visitors. So just stay downstairs. The shift in Jane's face was almost theatrical. With confusion. Then that tight, forced smile that said, I'm pretending I'm not furious. She didn't try to go upstairs. Didn't even ask. Because now, she knew the boundary was real. It wasn't loud. It wasn't dramatic. But it was perfect. Because sometimes, revenge is just a locked door. A quiet no that echoes louder than any argument. And the look on Jane's face? That was all I needed. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can do isn't yell or argue. It's just setting a boundary. And sticking to it. And if that means disappointing a pushy auntie, so be. If this story made you feel even a little vindicated, smash that like button. And tell me in the comments, have you ever had to set a boundary with an entitled guest? Subscribe to Sweet Revenge Tales for more stories where karma locks the door and throws away the key.